Okay, so I decided I want to start documenting my projects a bit more. I still don't know in what capacity I want to do that, but I know I want to start documenting my projects. So I decided let's just do it. Let's just start somewhere documenting with something. And so today we're going to be going over my project hints. If you haven't seen the hints, check out my previous video if you want like an in-depth detail of what hints is. But let me show you really quickly just so that we're all on the same page here. So this is hints, or at least the GitHub page for hints. And so what a hint is a Linux application that lets you interact with GUIs on Linux by using your keyboard, so without your mouse. And so the way that works is you press or you bind a keyboard shortcut to your keyboard, and then you're able to do things like this, where these hints come up on your screen, and then you're able to interact with those hints by typing the letters that come up with that element. And then using modifier keys, you're able to do things like clicking, left clicking, and even dragging elements around. So that's the way that works. And then over here, I have a laptop set up that I'm also using for Hints development. And this is because, like I mentioned before, Hints is a Linux application. And the thing with Linux, if you know, is that there's a bunch of different desktop environments and setups and configurations. And if you want to test something that works across Linux, you need to make sure that you can test it in different environments, because things do behave differently here. And so the way this it's set up is just this is a Manjaro installation that if I actually log out here, you can see actually has a bunch of different pre-installed, or I guess not pre-installed because I installed them, but it has a bunch of different sessions that you can do. So there's like Hyperland, Plasma, and Sway that it has it up here. And so that just makes it easy for me to test different things really quickly across different environments. And at this point, I think the room splits itself because you either get it or you don't get it. And if you're like me and you like using Vim and keyboard shortcuts wherever possible, and you just want to be on your keyboard for the longest amount of time possible, then this makes sense to you and you're like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this my entire life. It's finally here. And so yes, that's the same way I felt. And if you don't get it, then it's fine. Stick to using your mouse. But you're wrong, and this is much better. Okay, so the plan today is to go over different issues on Hint, and more specifically, pull requests, because Hint is now getting a bit popular, and it actually has some contributors. Let me show you. So if we go up here, you can actually see that right now Hint has 986 stars. So people have been digging it, and they've been actually contributing to it as well, which is why we have some pull requests up here. And so the goal today is to go over this pull request and hopefully get some of these merged in. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to look at is start looking through the pull request. Let's do that to see what people have been up to here. Okay, so this one's interesting. So hints are not positioned correctly because of custom screen scale. So hints actually has a parameter to adjust the screen scale. And so I want to see what this is. This fixes that some Pi screenshot backends can make screenshots with different size and absolute window size because of screen scaling by resizing the image to the desired size. What this is saying. Okay, let's look at the code. Maybe if I actually read the code, I can know what they're trying to do. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that if you have an image that is, so if Pi screenshot takes an image and it goes based off the size or the position of the window, then there's no guarantee that it will actually be the correct size because of scaling issues. That's kind of what I'm understanding here. I don't know, and I don't really have a way of testing this on my end. So what I probably want to do, but based on the code, it makes sense. It's taking the image and then just resizing it to the size of the window itself. 2 and 4, I believe 2 and 4 are just like the height and the size, or I think that's what they are. I gotta look at the code. I haven't looked at this code in a while. But let me ask something actually. I want to know how I can recreate this issue so I can actually test it. All right, let's move on to a different issue. I was hoping I could start merging some of these in, but that one I need more information on, so I want to wait first. Oh, yes, this one. So this is an interesting one. This is an issue that's actually been open for a really long time, actually. It's been open for quite a while. Yeah, this one can interact with hints. So if we look at this issue real quick and go over here, I think what's happening here is that they, for some reason, like if you're using a different language system, Like if you're not using English, for example, maybe you have like a different binding for different languages. The the keys that Hint reads, which is really just GDK in the back in the background underneath, they don't translate quite the same way. And so like the specific like if you're trying to press like SD or something, and they translate differently because you have different language systems in your keyboard system somewhere, then it's not really SD when you press SD. It's something else, and so you never actually get to press the hints because there's some other issue. So I've seen this quite a bit. This is actually number 8, which it has been open for quite a while. I just have never gotten around to fix it. So it's pretty cool that someone decided to fix it, and it seems. Let's go back to the issue. It seems like they're fixing it using the key value instead. And apparently this works with Sway and Hyperland, and possibly only winning compositors with multiple layouts configured. I would like to know if this also works on X11. So I think this is a good one to try out. Let's see what they did. I see. So they're using the event rather than using the key value. So event.key value and instead of just a value. Okay, seems like a pretty straightforward fix. Let's test this. I'm curious to know. Although, well, let's test it first. See on X11 because right now on my system this works fine. Like if I want to press AF up there, I can press AF and it works. Same thing with if I go back and I press AA, like things just work for me. So I want to see how this behaves once we use this. And so I think this brings me to my other issue. So right now, because I built hints kind of for myself, everything it's kind of built off the main branch and there's no multiple branches. And that means that whenever I want to do a new release, I have to update like the version for stuff, but it's still in the main branch, which is a little weird. I think eventually I want to start making, like if I want to have people contribute more to it, I want to start making different branches. That way things are more organized and people can, you know, kind of contribute on a specific version instead of like always contributing to main. But also that's because there is no release system yet. And so that's why everything's kind of being worked off from main. But eventually I want to make that a little bit cleaner. So I think the way I can actually test this is just using their branch. So if I go over to the branch real quick, yep, and I can just take this. So right now the way, because there is no release version, the way I have you install hints is with pipx. So I could do install, and I can just do their thing, and I could do force just to override my own setup. I can also obviously pull the code and then use that as well. And what is happening here? Ah, right. Yeah, so this is pipx. So I'm installing from it. So it's gonna be like this. Wayland multiple layouts. Oh, right. Git, right? I think that's right. Yeah, it needs to know like where it's coming from, obviously. Okay, so that's going. I'm just gonna install it real quickly, and I really just want to do a quick test because like the code itself, it's not super big changes. They just changed one thing, and so I want to see if it still works on X11. And then what I can start doing is actually on this other computer that I set up, I can use it. I can also install it on this system, and then see how it behaves on Wayland using Sway. Okay, so Hint is now installed based on with their changes. So if I launched it, there's Hints, and if I do AF, yep, that works. Make sure some of the dragging works. Like if I do A, yep, dragging still works fine. Left clicking, yep, that works. Yep, so that works. I'm gonna go ahead and probably merge that. It's probably the easiest pull request. It seems like they just changed one thing and it does seem to work, and all of the modifiers are still working, which is good. And I think that's a good enough test for this pull request. And we'll do this directly in main. It's totally fine for now. Cool. Thank you for contributing, sir. Let's go back to the pull requests. Ooh, Niri support for window manager support. That's cool. Yeah, here's the thing. Adding Wayland support for different things is a little complicated because like Wayland just doesn't work the same way as X11, and so there's more things that have to be done to add a compositor. Which is when I did this, I only added a few. I think I added support for Hyperland, KDE, Plasma, and Sway as well. I think those are the ones that are supported right now. And I figured if anyone wants to add support for anything else, instead of me doing it for every single system, let's just see if anyone contributes and actually does add support for their window manager. And somebody did. So this is Niri support. Um, Currently working. Niri IPC doesn't have enough information to let you know where tiled windows exist, and tiled windows works. Tiled windows works just fine. Okay. Let you know where tiled windows exist, and so I think they mean. Oh, somebody else commented. Right, let me hear. We'll keep an eye out for Niri support merch. Thank you. Awesome. So more than one person wants, which is great. Let's see how they implemented this. I'm curious to know because they said it doesn't support some things. So yeah, case Niri, Niri as Windows system. They added Niri as well. Niri Windows system. Get focus window from message. Okay, so apparently Niri doesn't provide Windows position for them of tiled windows. Okay, so the way they're doing it is they're getting some position from top position in workspace view, get it properly to do gap 16. So that's a hard-coded value, which is not great. The X value gets added to the gaps and then the window itself. So they're deciding the where the position for the X coordinates are based on, and also the Y coordinates, it seems, based on the number of windows, which makes sense. I mean, if you know the size of the window and you know the gaps in between the window, then you know what, like where the position lies for the window. So that makes sense to me. Um, I'm wondering how that works for multiple monitors though, and if it tested multiple monitors, because at that point, I wonder like how things change based on how the system manages the windows. I might ask that before merging this, and also we should make a constant for that. So I think everything else looks straightforward to me. It's just that one part of it. So that makes sense to me. Let's go back and let's add a comment down here. I think that's all I have time for today because I have some stuff to do. And my battery is going to die, which is kind of a reason as well. So, yeah, I think this was cool, productive, and we'll see what else I do with this later.